It was a snowy winter's evening, not long until Christmas. There was a wonderful Christmassy atmosphere as the Polar Express arrived at Bevern village station, with steam filling the air. There were carol singers on the platform, the smell of mulled wine and roasted chestnuts drifting by. Many were here for the charity meet and greet with Santa and his elf in the back carriages. Local children from the less affluent areas came to meet Santa and receive gifts for Christmas, donated during a fancy charity gala the previous weekend by local rich people. The front carriage of the train was used for everyday commuters, for people wanting to get home for Christmas or into the big city for the late-night shopping. All was going so well as the train left the station. Passengers all aboard, luggage in their holds. Food and drinks were on offer in the train. People were excited for their Christmas journey. All was running smoothly until a mystery 3-minute blackout, 10 minutes into the journey. Then, later on in the journey, it was time for Santa and his elf to walk through the train to greet the children gathering in the back carriages. Santa opened his big sack of presents. The children were beaming with excitement. But to Santa's dismay, he found his sack was full of old, empty brandy bottles. The presents were gone. The children were left with nothing. At the end of the line, Detective C. Mundy was waiting to investigate and take statements from passengers. Passengers' luggage was checked. Most of the passengers were clearly innocent of the crime. But he did make a list of possible suspects and called them back to the train the following day to go through the evidence. Who stole Santa's presents and switched them out for brandy bottles? Let me introduce you to our suspects.
Ho, ho, ho! My name is Jim Antonic. I am an actor who loves to play Santa at Christmas.
Bonjour. I am J. Peter. I am the porter for the trains on this line. I am based at Barkham Station and I'm an expert at luggage transportation. And I love the ladies.
I am Paul Steamerhead. I run the trains in this area. I am the driver of the Polar Express at Christmas. I am a very important person.
I am Silen Knight. I am a charity worker as well as a carol singer at this time of year.
I am Chloe Behold, but you know that already. You have probably seen me singing on stage, and I expect you heard my radio interview on Sussex FM last week. I am the next big thing.
I am Amy Solto. I am a conductor on the train, originally from New Zealand, but love it here in Barkham. So many stories to listen to and gossip to sink my teeth into.
I am Salim Dion. Over Christmas, I work as an elf under the watchful eye of Jim. He's my difficult boss. I can't wait until Christmas is over. Bring on the summer rays.
I am Mark Phil Dodger, all-round nice honest guy. I work in catering, and you will see me offering food and drink on the train. When not at work, I play guitar, and I am dating pop star Chloe Behold.
And I am Detective Kieran Mundy. What we know so far, the sack of presents was given to Jim by the charity CEO Jonathan Frost at 5 p.m. in the station car park. There is CCTV of this transaction taking place. Santa pulled the sack on the back of a trolley into the station, where he was met by Jay Porter, who took the sack across the platform to the train, where he was helped by the conductor to put it in one of the larger catering cupboards just outside the driver's cab in the front carriage. It was believed to be safe in this cupboard at around 5:10 p.m. As far as we know, it stayed in that cupboard until it was to be picked up by Santa and his elf to take to the children at around 6:15 p.m. People were able to get on the train from 5:20, with the train departing at 5:45. The journey to the city was 45 minutes, arriving at the city at 6:30 p.m. Strangely, there was a 3-minute blackout on the train, to the horror of some of the children. This was at 5:55 approximately. One or more of you in this train could have done this terrible crime. Who would stoop so low at Christmas?
It wasn't me, but it's not that much of a big deal. It's just poor kids. They are used to having no presents at Christmas. Just throw them some condiments from the catering trolley.
Oh, be quiet, Si. I love the children, and the children love me. It was so good to see them smiling as we sang them carols on the platform.
I think they were grimacing. Some of those high notes were a little off, darling.
Now, that's not on. Don't you be talking to my woman like that.
I'm not your woman yet, babes. I don't see no bling on my finger yet. But thanks for defending me. We will go far one day as a world-famous duo.
Yes, I can't wait to get my guitar out and sing love songs with you around the world.
Get a room. Can we just get this over and done with? Blooming Christmas.
Yes, quite right. These presents stolen from the sack were not just any presents. They were expensive, luxury gifts donated by the generous rich people of Barkham Village. The question is, who knew about the contents of the sack, and why would you feel the need to steal them? I managed to get hold of the guest list at the door of the gala. Page 1 is very revealing.
So, some relevant names from the guest list are as follows: Jonathan Frost, the CEO, Will Freeman, Richard Mann, Jen Ayres, Paul Steamerhead, Barry Big Bucks, Pat Cash, D Pockets, Bill Ian Eyre, Gaz Ilian, Kay Ching, Sylvia Gold, Terry Shaw, Mo Kneebags, Chloe Amber Hold, Don Eightmore, Ivalotadosh, Celine Dion, Carrie Mariah, and Jim Antonic.
It looks as though a number of you were present when the presents in the sack were originally donated. You knew what was in that sack.
Well, of course I was there. How ridiculous! I am the charity Santa. It was my sack. Why would I embarrass myself and steal my own presents? Laughable. Ho, ho.
You were the first to know the worth of that sack contents. Plenty of time to hatch a plan. What is it? Insurance claim? Stuck in hard times? Finally had enough of Christmas?
Here. Blooming Christmas.
Yes, you always bang on about how you need a pay rise as you can't afford to provide for your family. You do need the money, don't you?
No. That's just banter. You know, who doesn't moan about their workplace? I probably had too much to drink.
He does love a brandy. Or 5.
I have other incomes, actually. I am an actor. You know, I don't just play the part of Santa. That's just for the kids. Just for charity. You know, I like to give. I'm a philanthropist.
You are mostly pissed. That's for sure.
Huh. I've seen you at a few of the local theatre auditions. You never get past the first audition. I would know. I'm always the lead part. I am the beautiful Cinderella at the pantomime this year.
You do work crazy hours as Santa, Jim, and you are always moaning about the charity not paying you. It makes total sense. Case closed.
Cod's wallop. Anyway, why are you not pointing your finger at Paul? He was at the gala too, for some unknown reason.
I'm very important and must attend these things to keep my fingers in different pies. I am friends with the CEO of PK&M, actually. Me and John go way back. Here is a picture I took. Look at all the fun we had.
You barely know each other. Don't pretend you are one of those rich people. If you had all the dosh in the world, you wouldn't demand so much to hire the train.
I am a fantastic businessman. You owe me for that charity train ride. I will charge interest.
You greedy little man! Do you want to take this outside?
Let's control ourselves, gents.
Didn't you guys have a fight the other night? I heard, and I hear lots as a conductor, I heard that you two had a rough and tumble outside the toy store the other night. Something about a toy being sold out for Christmas.
Oh no, that was nothing.
That was it. All over that silly toy. The Bevern Bear 3000. It's all the rage. All the kids are desperate for it this Christmas.
Nonsense.
I heard what I heard.
Well, before any of you say it, yes, I was at the gala. Of course I was. I was the special guest singer. Class knows class.
I had the main act got food poisoning. Or was it dodgy wine? Even so, you, Chloe, were a last-minute substitute.
I heard that too, actually.
Being just the singer doesn't mean anything. You knew about the contents of that sack. That's enough for me. Motive 1 complete.
I was just having a peep at that photo. Isn't that you in the background, Mark?
Yes, that is you. I remember now. You were there, giving out drinks. You spilt a martini over my wife. Spent far too long patting her down with that towel, if you ask me.
Well, yes, I was. Working with the catering team. I needed the extra hours and came to watch my Chloe sing. What a voice.
Why hide yourself from the guest list? Suspicious.
I wasn't a guest, I was working. I had no time to pay attention to what was going on at the gala. I was busy with drink orders all night. I was rushed off my feet. However, I do remember a little kerfuffle outside at one point, though. The police had to be called. Someone tried to get in who wasn't on the list. Now that is suspicious.
Ah, yes. I have an article from the local news about that.
That looks suspiciously like him over there. Simon, is it?
Not at all. My jawline is far more defined.
It does look like you. Like a photo.
Well, I can neither deny or confirm it was me. But either way, it doesn't mean I went in. I couldn't have known what the presents were if I didn't get in. Hypothetically speaking, of course.
Well, it proves you were up to no good. I, for one, was relaxing at home. There's no point in me being here, innocent as per usual.
How about we focus on those who were actually at the gala? Salim's all too happy to drop Santa in it.
Yeah. Aren't elves meant to be friendly with Santa?
I'm doing this job as a favour. I never wanted to go to that stupid gala. The quicker Christmas ends, the better. Bloomin' Christmas. And Jim is a bully and a drunk. The worst Santa ever.
Bad enough to want to steal his presents and humiliate him.
I'd love it if he was no longer a Santa, but stealing presents would just prolong this blummin' Christmas.
Before we move on to the actual day of the theft, I have one more piece of evidence from the gala. It might be interesting to know what the donated presents actually were.
See, I told you my gossip is always reliable. That Bevern Bear 3000 is on the list. That is the very bear Jim and Paul were in fisticuffs about outside that toy shop the other night. Jim always said that his kid is desperate for that bear. It's all the rage.
Oh, come off it. I wouldn't steal a bear meant for poor children just to give to my own child. I'm not that desperate. Paul, on the other hand, he's so desperate to seem like he is more successful to his wife and kids that he would do anything to get the trending toys for them this Christmas. It even made him violent.
Hold on there, Jim. You swung the first punch.
You head-butted my fist.
Right. You and me, outside now.
Oh, Mr. Big Boots, now are we? Come on then. Let's see what you're made of.
Enough. What is this toy? It looks as though that toy was rather sought after, and they are sold out in most shops locally. £499. Wow. But let's not jump to any conclusions. It looks like quite a selection of expensive gifts in that sack. And some rather niche ones, too.
Not sure why these poor kids need Celine Dion tickets, diamonds, antique dolls, and signed memorabilia. What's wrong with giving them a bowl of gruel?
Oh, look, son. There was a new elf outfit in the sack.
Leave it out. I'm done being an elf, and I am not your blooming son.
Yeah, I hear Jim gets confused about who his kids are.
What is that supposed to mean?
Oh, nothing. I misspoke.
So, some of you knew about the contents of the sack from being at the gala. Some of you might have been tempted by the lure of some of those expensive presents, or a nice Christmas payoff from selling them on. But it is now time to delve into what actually happened on the day. Jim, talk me through what we see in this image, and what happens next to the sack of presents.
Well, the CEO of the charity dropped off the sack of presents with me in the station car park. It was a heavy sack, so it was lucky that Jay Porter was quickly at hand with his trolley. He then wheeled it through turnstiles and onto the platform. Now, I never made contact with that sack until discovering it was full of empty brandy bottles as I opened it for the kids.
Well, there's a first error, Santa. You don't let old peeping Porter go through your luggage. I've heard he likes to sneak a peep. One lady told me she caught him sniffing her underwear, taken out of her luggage.
That is slander. Her lovely, sweet-smelling underwear actually fell out of her luggage, and I was just tucking them back in.
You know what they say? If luggage goes missing in this station, look to old Pinchy Fingers Porter.
No one has ever said that. Like, ever.
You are known as a bit of a dodgy dealer, Jay.
Yeah, it did surprise me at how keen you were with your trolley to take the sack from me.
Sacre gloire. I'm the porter, for goodness sake. It's my job.
You aren't usually that efficient.
Well, actually, I had instructions from Paul Steamahead to treat the CEO and Santa as royalty. The best service, he said. It was Paul who wanted me to be as quick as possible transferring the sack to the train, to be safe. I just did my job. I took it straight to the cupboard at the front of the train. Thinking about it, it was not too far from the driver's cab, to be honest.
And where did you go after that?
I had everyone else's luggage to transport. Some of it was very heavy, since it is Christmas time after all.
He's right. I did see him doing his usual luggage trips. And, of course, sniffing ladies' scarves from their luggage.
I was not sniffing that scarf. I remember, actually, a pink suitcase being particularly heavy. It had a slight jingle to it. People carry the strangest things. As I was transporting it, a pink glittery scarf was hanging out, so I just tucked it back in the case with the rest of the glittery outfits.
Mm-hmm.
I was just helping.
Sure.
I was not sniffing it.
I saw what I saw.
You saw what you wanted to see. Anyway, I was just following Mr. Steamahead's very specific instructions.
Don't try and pin this on me by saying I orchestrated this whole thing.
You literally instructed me to take the sack straight to the cupboard outside your cab.
I knew. I shouldn't have trusted you.
I'm starting to think you started these rumors about me being a thief. Always out to get me, ever since I pulled that cracker at the Christmas party.
Why would pulling a cracker turn Paul against you?
Cue the gossip girl. He means he pulled Paul's wife.
Well, I don't know about that. I just asked any old porter to transport the sack because I was far too busy preparing the train. Do you know how complicated steam trains are? A very important job indeed.
Your wife's not here now, mate. No need to hide the fact. You are as broke and as simple as the rest of us.
Right. Outside now.
You don't know who you are messing with. I have studied Kung Fu. Don't you know?
He took 2 evening classes in Feng Shui.
Let's move on. Where were the rest of you before boarding the train?
I was, of course, singing for the poor kids at the station and collecting for the PKNM charity at the same time. Oh, such sweet faces gazing at me as I sang my song, Love for All, which will be on my future solo album, Hold My Love.
I was singing with Chloe and collecting for charity.
Me and Elf on the Shelf here were greeting the kids on the platform. You know, pictures and all that.
Once I got the food and drink onto the train for the catering cart, I went and watched my babe Chloe singing. I offered to play guitar, unlike a modern-day Keith Richards, I said. But they said stick to the mince pies. So I handed out mince pies and enjoyed the singing.
It looks like Peeping Jay had access on the train, and Mark went on with the catering food. They have to be our leading suspects, right?
For once, I agree with Jim. Two known dodgy fellas happened to be the only ones in the vicinity of the sack when everyone else was on the platform. No.
Hold up. I'm no criminal. That reputation is just vicious rumors. I actually put the sack into the hold with the help of the conductor, Amy. She will vouch for me that there was no funny business.
I can't promise there was no funny business. But yes, the sack went in the cupboard. And then Jay went off to get the rest of the luggage whilst I finished off a few last checks in the conductor's booth by the ticket office.
I promise you, I only went on the train to drop off the food and that was it. No time to steal a sack of presents.
This might be a good time to show you what our records discovered. Is it not true that you were a convicted thief?
You brought us all here for this sham investigation when you knew there was a convicted criminal among us the whole time.
I'm not a thief anymore. I did my time. I'm clean. I'm a new man, inspired by my love, Chloe. I just want to be a musician and tour the world. I wouldn't do anything to mess that dream up.
Clean my ass!
Excusez-moi.
Sorry, that came out wrong. I mean, you must be joking. You aren't clean.
I am no thief.
One word. Kit Kat.
What do you mean?
Ah, yes. I did spot a report on HR's desk about a certain Kit Kat theft.
That was nothing. Why drag up the past? I did my Kit Kat awareness training.
It's not looking good for you, Mikey boy.
This is concerning for your HR's confidentiality, but also concerning for you, Mark.
This is madness. I haven't done anything. Look at Jay. And Amy, maybe they are in it together. We all know Jay flirts with anyone. Yes, even more so if he's on the booze. We all know the rumors about him, and other people's wives, and the many kids he has on the go.
That's my man. If you're going down, why not take your best mate with you?
Keep me out of this. But yes, I have heard much gossip about Jay and other ladies at the station. But nothing more, right? You are a one-lady guy, right? Right?
Nothing more? He kissed Mr. Steamerhead's wife at the last Christmas party. Mr. Steamerhead is still furious. I wouldn't be surprised if he wanted to set Jay up.
Well, I don't know all the facts, but Jim's wife is a bit of a flirt with Jay. About 4 or 5 years ago, I heard there was a bit of hanky-panky going on at the Christmas party under mistletoe.
I beg your pardon. Under who? I was not there.
Under mistletoe, not mistletoe.
Oh, okay.
But yes, she was a cracker too.
Here, look at Jim's family. Something fishy going on there, don't you think?
Whoa, Jim! Your boy looks just like, Jay!
He's my boy.
We can add Jay to the list of desperate dads who might be desperate enough to steal that blooming Bevern Bear 3000. Maybe to even lure away one of his many kids.
It isn't his kid.
Oh, so cute. He's like a little Jay peeping. But hold on. If you have a boy with Jim's wife, then you would most likely know about the presents from the gala. Jim said his wife was with him at the gala. Even worse, are you plotting with Jim's wife to get rid of Jim altogether by framing him?
Yeah. With Jim out the picture, life is looking a lot simpler for Jay.
Oh, nonsense.
It all makes so much sense now.
Why the big leap, Avy? One moment you are flirting with Jay, the next you are throwing him under the bus.
Well, just before Christmas, I received this anonymous letter. Dear Amy, I know what you did last summer. I saw who you were with at that Celine Dion show, and what you were up to. You will surely get the sack if your work knew you were back on the booze. And if they see these pictures I have of you, unless you take down Jim and Tonic Santa, I want him dealt with before Christmas. Signed, anonymous, smiley face. Someone wanted me to get rid of Jim and Tonic for them. Was it you, Jay? I trusted you. You were at that Celine Dion show with me. And now I know you have something against Jim. I don't want to believe it, but it fits.
I promise you I did not write that letter. I loved our time at Celine Dion. I wouldn't want you sacked. I love flirting, working with you at the station.
Someone wants me dealt with? This is preposterous! So Jay potentially wants to steal my wife, steal my boy? He knows about the sack contents, and no doubt is after that Bevern Bear 3000 to lure away my boy at Christmas. I am not standing for this.
With your beer belly, or should I say brandy belly, I'm not sure you can stand anyway, boss.
I don't need Jim gone, I just don't abandon my kids. I've still got my good looks. Jim is no rival to me. Trust me, Amy, I did not send that letter.
Wait a minute, Si. You were showing me pictures on your phone on the train journey. I saw one of you at that Celine Dion concert. I'm sure of it.
I don't even know Amy. And well, that Santa dude is bearable enough to not want to destroy his reputation.
No, look at the picture. You were there. And with... Is that Celine Dion? At a Celine Dion gig? He's clearly a superfan. With a name like that.
And so what? Going to a Celine Dion concert doesn't mean I'm guilty of stealing a sack of presents.
But it does mean there's someone else from this train who was there and might want to get rid of Jim. You said it yourself. You can't stand the man.
Yes, I was at the concert, but it's just a coincidence that I am called Celine Dion. It's just my name, and I don't even know Amy. Why would I blackmail a stranger I don't know anything about?
You did keep eyeballing a drunk couple at the show, and they did look a bit like Jay and Amy, to be fair.
That's just my face. Grumpy is my default. I don't know this Amy girl. First time I met her was conducting this train.
Do you know him, Amy?
I was so sure Jay was the blackmailer, but Celine does look familiar now. I'm looking at him. Aha, got it. I have some old yearbook pictures on Facebook. Yes, this is it. But he has the wrong name. Celine Mariah. I remember Celine Mariah. He was a loser.
That is Celine Dion. I noticed Jim's wife on the guest list had a different name. It wasn't Antonic, it was Mariah. Carrie Mariah. She looks just like the elf too.
Santa is your stepdad, Celine?
Technically, you could be a stepdad too, Jay.
Okay. I changed my name from Mariah to Dion. I can't stand the Christmas songs of Mariah Carey, which have haunted me as a child. I do love the love ballads of Celine Dion, though. I only work for Jim as an elf because elves are my family tradition, and it makes my mum happy working with Jim. He is not my dad, and never will be. I've no idea who sent that blackmail letter.
Maybe Amy did carry out the theft after all. Maybe she did carry out the blackmail request to frame Santa.
Why would I do that? I have no motive for this crime. In New Zealand, we have an old saying, "Itamariki, itamariki, itamariki." It means children are the most important thing.
I heard a similar saying. Something like teriyaki, 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 but not sure where I sourced it from.
I think you'll find you heard that in Wagamama's, mate. Anyway, back to Amy. Who knows how much that criminal deviant Jay has led you down that path? People do anything for love. You weren't exactly the kindest person at school, were you?
I am not in love with Jay Peeping Porter.
Most ladies are. I can't help the way I look.
It looked like a very loving smooch at the Celine Dion concert, if you ask me.
There will be no me and Jay after what I've heard about him. First it was Paul's wife, then Jim's wife, and now I have gathered he was up to no good on the train with a certain singer.
Who, me? Oh, that was just us being playful.
Not sure you needed to use the train loo at the same time, did you?
What are you suggesting?
Right, ladies. Let's talk about what happened on the train journey in a moment.
Let us not forget Salim told us that he didn't even know Amy, and now we know he was bullied by her at school. Why lie? Is this not an obvious reason to get back at her or even blackmail her?
Oh, blame the victim, why don't you? She was a bully then, and is still capable of trying to bring me down now. Who knows what she is capable of?
That is a lot of new revelation. Let me get this right. Between the sack being dropped off on the train before everyone else getting on, the only people to be near the sack was Jay and Amy loading it on the train, and Mark loading up the catering food. But it may have, of course, been stolen once the train was on the move. We then have evidence of Mark's criminal past, but he claims he is clean of crime and in love, ready to ignite a career in music. We then heard the revelations about Jay playing the field, having children from many women, including allegedly being the father of Jim's kid. Costly to have so many kids at Christmas, one would think. Jim's wife is also the mother of Celine, who dislikes his stepdad Jim. There is an anonymous blackmail letter written by someone at the Celine Dion concert, trying to get Amy to deal with Jim in exchange for not revealing her alcohol problem. Was this an attempt to frame Jim or ruin his reputation, or is this Amy faking the whole thing to cover her tracks? Before we move to round 3, it might be worth looking over some of those presents again. Any more clues there? Some things to be aware of. At 5:25 p.m., passengers started to flow onto the train. It departed the station at 5:40 p.m. The journey was 45 minutes to the city station, arriving at 6:30 p.m. There was an unusual blackout on the train at around 5:55 p.m. for 3 minutes or so. Here is the best representation of the seating plan during this journey, although I am well aware there was lots of moving around for food and using the toilet, among other things. Who could have stolen the presents while on the train before Celine carried the sack to the charity carriage at 6:15 p.m. If the sack still had presents in by the time the passengers enter the train, the window for the theft seems to be between 5:20 p.m. and 6:15 p.m. As you can see, the sack of presents was stored in the storage behind the toilet. At the front of the train, where the driver, conductor, and caterer were based. Celine was sitting in front of the toilet, with Jim sitting across the aisle next to the toilet. Jay, Chloe, and Simon sat at the other end of the carriage by the charity coach. Amy and Mark roamed throughout the train.
Can I ask, do we know why there was a blackout?
Not unusual on this old train. It has some very old wiring.
Not too dissimilar to yourself, Paul.
Look here, I didn't come here to be insulted.
Where do you usually go, then?
Dodgy wiring?
Oh, it often happens on this train. You plug in an old appliance, and it can just trip the whole train.
Oh no, I think that was me. I plugged in Chloe's hair straighteners by the catering corner. She said she wanted them to warm up so she could sort her hair out in the toilet before meeting the kids on the next carriage.
Oh no, that was my old straighteners. I had no idea. How embarrassing. I thought they didn't work very well when I touched up my look in the toilets.
So you caused the blackout?
A girl needs to do what a girl needs to do to stay looking like a star.
A girl needs to do what a girl needs to do to steal a sack of presents in the dark.
How dare you? Mark plugged it in. I had no idea this train was so rickety. You wouldn't have this on the Gatwick Express, first class.
This train is a piece of history. I have, you know. I have noticed you haven't been traveling first class much recently. Coming down on hard times, are we, pop star?
I'm doing fine, thank you very much. I just like to be a woman of the people. When I record my first album, I want to sing authentically about real issues for real people.
I heard that any respected record company won't record an album with you, so you have to fund it yourself. It might take you a bit longer to become a world-famous pop star, unless you, say, had a bit of extra income, if you know what I mean.
Like a paper round?
Like a sack of presents, numpty.
I already have the X Factor. I don't need a sack of very expensive presents.
When I was on a Celine Dion fan page, I came across a post from Chloe. Maybe Chloe wants to follow in the footsteps of her idol, Holiday Tang, the H-pop sensation. After it was revealed to promote her single, Panda Pop, Holiday Tang kidnapped a panda for the day to then return it, along with £1 million to charity. Chloe wrote, "Oh my gosh, HT is literally my fave pop star. Epic shows, stunning voice, and the best publicity stunts ever. I can't wait to hear Panda Pop. I wish I was Holiday. Hashtag dreams come true. Hashtag manifest. Hashtag power ballad."
Did you steal my sack for a publicity stunt?
Well, I guess if you don't have access to zoo animals, stealing Santa's sack of toys is the obvious next best thing.
That is a bit far-fetched. I was on the train to help kids, let them experience meeting their idol.
Oh, was Taylor Swift on the train then?
Don't you know I did a sold-out show last month?
I thought that was a school assembly.
Nice one, Mark. Not sure that will help you get that ring on Chloe's finger anytime soon.
So I guess you would do anything to keep a budding pop star like Chloe with you?
Yeah, we have big plans together to tour the world in a band.
Plenty of diamonds in that sack. Maybe time was just running out and you needed a diamond ring on her finger pronto.
No, you are twisting things. I am saving up for a ring, doing extra shifts. I told you, my criminal days are over.
Well, we can't just take your word for it. You have a criminal past. You did cause the blackout. You seem desperate to get a ring on the finger of a girl with very expensive taste.
I am not desperate. My Chloe is a patient girlfriend.
Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock.
Stop it.
Leave him alone.
All Chloe ever does is bang on about her solo album. Have you noticed that? No mention of a duo or a band.
I think she's using you to get to the top, and then, bam, she's off touring the world alone, leaving you to comfort eat a life supply of Kit Kats.
It is only right we look into your whereabouts on the train, Mark. In fact, everyone's whereabouts. I did a bit of detective work, and the forensic team found some interesting clues. First of all, we see an unnecessary amount of biscuit crumbs on the floor in the catering area, not far from where the sack was stored. We see a brandy cap found just by where Celine Dion was sitting, the same brand of brandy as the brandy bottles found in the sack. We see a load of Kit Kat wrappers on the floor. In the toilet, there was another Kit Kat wrapper, an empty bottle of brandy, and a loose screw on the floor. And a couple of business cards were found in the jacket hanging up in the driver's cab. One for an antiques dealer, and the other a local pawnbroker's.
Let me just remind everyone that yes, it was empty brandy bottles I found in the sack as I looked down at those sad children. Would you like to explain yourself, Salim? Why the brandy bottle lid was found by you? Didn't you clean up after your crime?
That is quite a far reach. I don't even drink brandy. Unlike a certain Santa I know for a fact it is your go-to drink.
A poetic way to wind up the person you hate, Salim. Planting empty bottles of his beloved drink in his sack. This evidence doesn't do you any favors, Salim.
Evidence? You must be joking. It's merely rubbish, probably rolled over from good old Santa Claus over there. He was sitting opposite.
Well, I'd at least look at Mr. Kit Kat if I was you.
I know you are implying me. I might be a bit messy, but I'm no present thief. I had a few Kit Kats paid for, thank you very much. But I wasn't the only one, if I remember. I have my drinks list here from the train ride. Let me see. Ah, yes. I had 3 Kit Kats, and Jim Antonic had a Kit Kat with his mince pie. So there.
And delicious too. Is this evidence, or just a list of rubbish? I can't help it if the train cleaners are useless. I blame the driver.
Oh, here he goes again. Always playing the blame game.
Those crumbs were probably that big fat mince pie you ordered on that list. Maybe you came out of your cab to steal some presents and steal a bite. Those crumbs are right by the sack cupboard.
I doubt it, Jim. Mining's pies never crumble. They are made with the finest pastry. Those crumbs came from something else.
Let us not forget what that list said. Jim had 1 Kit Kat, and 1 Kit Kat wrapper was found in the toilet. A toilet that backs onto the storage cupboard, holding the sack. I know it couldn't have been Mark dropping Kit Kat wrappers in there, as he is a member of staff and wouldn't use the commuters' toilets. It must have been you, Jim.
Yes, I went to the loo a couple of times. I get nervous doing these events. I might have taken a few sips from my hep flask, but I didn't drink from no bottles. Who else had brandy?
Jay,
Oh, am I enemy number 1 now? Just because we aren't exclusive, Amy?
you literally have kids with most of the ladies around here, and now you have started flirting with Chloe. But no, I bring it up because your name is on Mark's drinks list.
For goodness sake, Chloe did all the flirting.
I can confirm that Jay did have a brandy on the journey.
On duty! On my train!
Oh, shush. It's Christmas, a time for love, drink, and frivolity. And I used the loo on duty. Who cares?
Yes, I noticed you go to the loo at a similar time to Chloe, and came back with lipstick on your shirt.
Nothing happened. Anyway, what was the make of brandy bottle found in the sack?
Let me see. I have it here. It was Hold'em's brandy.
Aha! I only got the cheap knockoff brandy. Thank you, Mark.
Anything for an old pal.
I ordered. Hold'em me brandy, not Hold'em's brandy. It has a bit of a kick, but does the job.
Well, who else drinks brandy in this place?
Well, Jim and Paul could be in it together. They both regularly go to the pub together.
And they both hate me.
Or they could both be 2 big dogs at each other's throats, and we've all been mixed up in their big boys fight they have going on.
You think you are so innocent, Amy. But that blackmail letter revealed a lot. I thought you were going to AA, but a drunken night at a Celine Dion concert tells me otherwise. Are you fit to be working on my train?
I haven't drunk anything since then.
It's a slippery slope. Desperate people can do desperate things.
Another sign of desperate times is what the detective found in your jacket pocket, Paul. Nothing more desperate than a pawnbroker. Are you running on hard times, Paul? Need some quick cash? Why the pawnbroker business card and the antique dealer contact?
And I remembered there were some antique Barbies on that present list. They would go for a hefty figure at a dealer.
They were just carts. People hand you stuff in the streets all the time.
Looks pretty shady to me. You don't have any charity pamphlets, takeaway leaflets, or a climate change card. You just have 2 dodgy-looking dealer cards. I don't know what kind of streets you walk along.
Planning on a quick sale, were you, Mr. Steamerhead?
Well, I have been a little low on funds recently. It is Christmas, after all. I just needed a little extra to get by the festive season.
Oh, yeah, to keep up appearances with his family.
I'm not faking it. I will be the next CEO of PKNM soon enough. I was just selling some old antiques I have in the house. Nothing sinister.
A bit of a coincidence, I think. The presents disappear and then you have the business contacts at your fingertips to sell them on in an instant.
Yeah, and that would certainly speed along the current CEO, Mr. Frost, into retirement. Could you imagine the scandal this will create for the charity? Then you would slip right into the new CEO role. Evil genius.
No. I meant I will one day be the CEO through hard work and networking.
We should probably get some context to what's going on here. I managed to get a few witness statements from people on the train. Here is a brief summary of my findings. Miss Hold was seen going to the toilet once for quite a while. Mr. Antonic was in the loo a number of times and was seen going up to the charity carriage a couple of times. Mr. Dion was a regular visitor to the loo and went to the charity carriage a few times. Once he was seen carrying the sack there to meet Santa. Mr. Porter went to the loo twice. The last time was a similar time to Miss Hold. and a number of passengers mentioned seeing them flirting.
I told you!
Mrs. Solto,
It's mistletoe, actually.
sorry, Miss Solto, was back and forth the carriages throughout the journey. Driver, Mr. Steamerhead, popped out of his cab once, just to the catering area. Mr. Knight went to the loo once, but was seen loitering outside the driver's cab and catering area, before a heated argument with Mr. Dodger moments later. Mr. Dodger was up and down the carriages with his trolley multiple times. One passenger thought they saw Miss Holt carrying a bin bag from the charity carriage. A lot went on during this journey, not to mention what could have happened during the blackout. Let's piece it all together.
Like I said before, I wasn't the only one who thought Chloe Behold was flirting with Jay. You went to the toilet together.
She was just waiting outside the toilet.
Be shy, Jay, my babes.
Chloe, I'm sitting right here. It's Mark, your boyfriend.
Let's talk about the actual screws found in the toilet. Let's not be distracted by Kit Kat wrappers and brandy bottles. Why on earth was there a loose screw on the floor in that toilet photo?
Dodgy maintenance staff on the trains.
We run a professional train business here, actually. Maybe the thief thought they could access the sack on the other side of the toilet wall. We need to look closely at those who used the loo.
Most people use that filthy loo.
Jim used it a number of times, even though he didn't order any drinks.
I was nervous. This was a big gig.
Nervous that you were going to pull off the ultimate heist, more like.
Jay also went to the loo twice.
When a man needs to go, he needs to go. Chloe was loitering outside when I was there.
I had to touch up my makeup before singing to the kids.
I find it strange that we keep overlooking the fact that the sack was by the catering area, and Mark was up and down all journey with his trolley. He could literally transport the bounty under his trolley.
Oh, blame the ex-con, why don't you? No room for presents under there. I keep the rubbish under there.
What exactly did that witness see when they said they saw Miss Hold carrying a bin bag from the other carriage?
Oh, that was exactly that, my precious. Chloe was just being helpful and handing me the rubbish from the party carriage.
Why on earth was Chloe clearing the rubbish for you? Do your own job.
I was just singing to the kids in the carriage, and on my way out I thought I'd help out by bringing a bag of rubbish out with me, as I could hear Mark was just outside with his trolley.
Yes, it was very helpful. Such a giver.
You weren't even meant to sing to the kids.
Oh, stop it. The kids loved seeing one of their fave stars sing to them.
Yeah, it wasn't on my events plan.
You don't need to book me for charity events. I'm just happy to help. I love the kids. Such sweeties.
Not enough of you are looking at Silent Night. Not only did he use the loo, but I found him hanging around the catering area.
Yeah, I heard a big argument with you two.
I was just up there to complain, that's all.
You were up to no good in the private catering area.
You sold me a substandard shortbread biscuit. I wanted my money back and said I would leave you a bad review.
Shortbread biscuits crumble. That's what they do.
I expect more. Chloe recommended the shortbread when we were on the platform.
I heard they were divine.
It was a travesty.
I took Mr. Knight back to this seat to calm him down.
I still never got my money back.
This was a charity event.
Charity? Ha!
Weren't you collecting for charity?
Hold on. Your charity box is red. PKNM only has blue collection boxes.
Why are you even on this train?
I was collecting for the kids.
Check this post out. Commenting on a new youth center for disadvantaged kids in Barkham, Simon wrote, "Not another freebie for the poor kids, paid for by us, the hard-working people. Rich people always get the blame, pay all the taxes, even though we work the hardest. Rich kids just get forgotten. Poor kids need to get a grip. Hashtag rich kids need more. Hashtag Robin Hood 2. The red collection boxes are for RKNM. Are you out to sabotage the PKNM charity? Did you steal the gifts to spite them, or even destroy them?"
I said I was there collecting for the kids.
Collecting for the rich kids.
Hi! Oh why? Oh why? Don't the poor kids dry their sorry eyes? And get up and try. Maybe even apply for a job in Dubai. I testify that I am the good guy. I cannot lie. I swear on my Eton tie, and with gusto I slap my thigh. We must rectify, so rich kids can qualify as their taxes are too high. Oh, I sigh. My smile is wry. Give the rich kids mince pies, and more tickets to fly business class in the sky. The poor kids are sly, pretending to be shy, taking our dollar till we die. I cannot deny, we must give to rich kids need more. Oh my, bye, love, sigh.
That was like the weirdest mic drop moment ever. He certainly knows how to rhyme though.
I can't believe you are the thief. I am shocked.
I'm no thief. I don't think those poor kids deserve the presents, but I didn't steal them.
He's like a backwards Robin Hood. Steal from the poor to give to the rich.
These kids look pretty fine to me. Did you see that post from the local news? The kids had such fancy glittery clothes.
Are you deflecting with pictures of glittery hats and scarves?
Well, what were you doing in the toilet so much, elf boy?
3 whiskies can do that to one's bladder.
Drinking on the job.
That's cheap, coming from you.
The role of Santa requires drinking. He does that. It is called method acting.
The role of your elf requires multiple drinks to get by.
Why are you all drinking on my train whilst working?
We don't work for you. You are my CEO.
One day I might be. This charity needs sorting out from the top.
Like I said, evil genius. He's playing the long game.
So lots of you were moving around. The loo, or the catering area, seemed to be the opportune areas to steal the sack. Jay, Jim, and Salim all went to the loo multiple times. Mark had the access and the means. Chloe was doing things she wasn't meant to, and Cy, Len Knight, was causing a nuisance in places he shouldn't have been, and not for the first time. There is one last question we need to ask ourselves. Whoever stole the presents needed to get them off the train without being seen. This last piece of evidence might help us. Just outside the city station at 6:35 p.m., an ANPR camera picked up on a known criminal, a certain Derek, not Job, driving past. Is it just a coincidence that an ex-prisoner on a watch list was in the vicinity as the train was arriving in the city?
Well, who else knows our local criminal underworld better than Jay?
Get over it. I flirted with Chloe and might have a few kids in different places. It doesn't mean I'm a criminal.
But you do know that Derek... I've heard you talking about him.
I know of him. You need to ask Mark about ex-cons.
Oh, come on, man. Yes, I know him. See, I'm honest. But I have no idea why he was outside the station. Nothing to do with me.
You do have a perfect-sized guitar case on board to carry off presents.
Chloe, you are supposed to be on my side.
Just saying, most people don't carry empty guitar cases.
She definitely wants to go solo.
I'll be able to afford a proper electric guitar soon. I just saw the case on Facebook Marketplace. One step at a time to live my dream as a duo with Chloe.
Definitely a dream.
No one takes me seriously. Well, here's a nugget for you all. Chloe would know about all our criminal friends and ex-friends. We've been dating for long enough to cross over into each other's circles. You must know Derek.
I don't know who I know. I'm just friendly with everyone. Hashtag love for all. Also a song on my next album.
What about your pink case? That could hold the presents.
My case was full of all my expensive outfits, actually. No room for presents. Everyone has a case. Jay's job is literally to carry cases to the car park. Think about that for a second.
Jim and Salim have a trunk for their events. That's plenty of room to pull this off.
Jim insists on being in charge of that. I just take the rubbish with me, as that stingy driver says we have to take our own event rubbish away with us.
Standard procedure, actually. Our team only take regular rubbish out. I expect Mark cleaned up the carriages afterwards.
Oh, yes, sir. I disposed of a couple of bin bags of rubbish from that journey.
Did anyone look like they were rushing off to escape the scene with the stolen goods?
Sai was off pretty swiftly.
I couldn't stand the grubby carriages.
Jay was quick to his duties, getting luggage to the car park.
It's my job. I noticed you took your own luggage at the other end.
I wanted to stick around and be there for the sad children.
I did think it was weird that, despite the tears, many of the kids actually seemed to like Chloe.
Hardly surprising. They loved my singing.
Well, after Amy does a quick luggage check and Mark does a rubbish check, I lock up the train before the police got here.
So, who do you think had the motive and the means to pull off this outrageous theft? Everybody, place their votes in a hat. One by one, we will reveal the truth.
I, Miss Salto, are not the thief. Yes, I am a big gossip and find out most of what's going on in the community. I knew about the presents and many of the relationships going on, but I didn't expect my Jay to cheat on me. Someone did send me a letter, blackmailing to reveal my lapse into drinking alcohol again. I thought about tarnishing Jim's career to hide my secret, but in the end, I was just going to be honest and get back to AA meetings. I love this job, and I love hearing juicy gossip from the commuters.
I, Mr. Paul Steamerhead, am not the thief. I am friends with the CEO of PKNM, but only to learn the ropes. And one day, I want to be CEO, to impress my wife and be able to pay for more for my kids. I'm always having bust-ups with my mate, Jim. I never did get that bare $3,000 for my kids. And I'm not sure he did either. It is true that I am struggling a bit for cash, which is why I had those pawnbroker and antique business cards. I panicked when I heard Derek Not Job come up in this investigation, as he is my antique stealer.
I, Mr. J.P. Porter, are not the thief. There is a good chance I am the father of Jim's kid. But I wouldn't frame him or want him gone. I just want to see my boy. I love a good flirt, and it does get me into trouble, but I wouldn't steal presents from kids, despite my shady past. I'm just a good, solid porter. And no, I didn't do anything with Chloe in the train. She's crazy flirty, and I guess can't resist me like the rest of the ladies.
I, Salim Dion, I'm not the thief. Yes, I hate Christmas. Yes, I hate Jim, aka my stepdad. And yes, I hate Amy Salto for being mean to me at school. I did send her a blackmail letter to try and get Jim the sack, so that I could be free from doing this elf stuff. I saw her and Jay at the Celine Dion concert and knew she was trying to work free from alcohol. I saw an opportunity and took it. I didn't plan for any presents to be stolen. I just wanted her to report in for something petty, you know, end his Santa contract.
I, Jim Antonic, aka Santa. I'm not the thief, of course. I am just a man working to pay for his family. Low on funds, but not in enthusiasm. I love these charity events. I may like a bit too much to drink, and Paul Steamerhead does wind me up, but I would never lower myself to stealing children's presents. I am not best fond of Jay and his sneaky ways, but framing him for theft is a bit extreme. And I may be a little hard on my elf boy, but the role of elf is very important. I take all my acting roles very seriously.
Why do you have to shout all the time?
I am an actor. It is called acting. You aren't fooling anyone with that fake French accent, matey.
I am French, born in the mountains of Grenoble.
My mum loves that in her yogurt.
That's granola, love.
I, Simon Leonard Knight, I'm not the thief. I don't like that charity. Poor kids get too much attention. They need to work harder like me. I would love that charity to fail. And yes, I may have been collecting for rich kids that night. I was there for the gala. I wanted to give it a bit of bad press, but I think someone else might have done it for me. They certainly quietened those poor kids, giving us a real silent night.
I, Mark Phil Dodger, and not the thief. This time, I was being truthful when I said I was living a clean life. I paid for the Kit Kats. I do my job well. I am starting to think Chloe is using me, and she doesn't intend to be in a band and tour the world. That guitar among the presents would be amazing, but no, I did not steal them.
You've got me. I, Chloe Amber Hold, am the thief. It was me. But I'm not a bad person. I just want to be like my hero, Holiday Tang. If she can pull off a prank like stealing a panda then donating money back afterwards, then I can do the same to kickstart my career. I planned to steal the presents. Then I was going to use the money to record the best album ever. Then when I get signed and become rich, I would donate way more money back to PKNM. I would be a hero. It is who I am meant to be. I knew Mark would take the fall, being an ex-con and all that. In fact, Mark did most of the work for me. So in my pink case, I carried on a bunch brandy bottles I got hold of from my dad's whiskey company, Hold'em's Brandy. The case was jingling a bit too much, so I padded them out with my luxury clothes.
Ah, yes. It was your case with the jingle jangle.
And her glittery scarf that you sniffed, Jay?
Let me work this out. Once on the train, you got Mark to plug in your faulty straighteners, which you somehow knew would trip the electrics. You are a regular commuter, after all. That gave you a pitch-black opportunity of a few minutes to remove the bottles in a black bag from your case. Remove your clothes from your case in a black bag and put the bags in the inside of the charity carriage to look like rubbish and a donation bag before sitting back down on your seat. When the lights came back on, no one suspected anything. Very clever. A little later, you went into the carriage to sing to the kids.
Who wouldn't appreciate a top local celebrity at a charity event?
On your way out, you left the glittery, expensive clothes in a bag for the kids to enjoy as a donation bag.
See, I'm not a monster after all.
Which is why the kids were so happy to see you at the end. They were wearing your fancy clothes from that donation bag.
Plus, kids just love me.
You then grabbed the bag of brandy bottles after your sing-song, and on your way out, you gave them to Mark, telling him it was rubbish from the charity carriage. He popped it under his trolley to take to the bin area at catering. You then tried to make it look like you had an alibi when you went to the loo by flirting with Jay and making it look like you was up to no good with him.
That Amy will believe any gossip.
Cheek. Actually, no, she is right. I am a sucker for gossip.
In fact, whilst Jay was in the loo, you was getting the bag of bottles in the rubbish area ready for a switch. Once Jay had left and no one was looking, you grabbed the bag of bottles and went into the loo with them. And somehow you went through the wall of the loo to get the sack from the cupboard on the other side.
In my makeup bag was a screwdriver where I took the picture off the wall. I used a knife to weaken the wall before pushing through to the other side to where the sack was. I switched out the bottles with the presents, then returned the picture back over the hole in the wall, flushed and placed the black bag of presents back in the bin area by the catering. I grabbed my straighteners that were on the side, topped up my lips, then made my way back to my seat, making sure people saw me wink at Jay. That was me done.
So that is why there was a loose screw in the loo. You didn't do a proper job of screwing it back in.
Oh, and I may have just drawn on your shirt with my lipstick as you passed me. How careless.
At the end of the journey, Mark took all the rubbish, as usual, to the big bins at the back of the station by the car park. You stayed around with the poor kids until you saw the bins had been disposed of. Then you gave your criminal friend Derek Notjob a call. Did you sell them to him?
Yes, he met me by the bins and bought the job lot off me for tens of thousands of pounds. I went on my merry way with a full bank account, and Derek Notjob went on his merry way with a ton of expensive presents. Darn that one screw coming loose, no one would have found the hole behind the toilet.
Did you recommend me that substandard shortbread biscuit deliberately so that I would cause a scene on the train? You know I have better taste than that.
She is an evil genius.
And she will be spending Christmas behind bars.